Government to boost agricultural sector with $80 million project. Cambodia marks International Day of Forest. An inter-party committee introduces MOU ahead of 2021 presidential elections. This and more coming on this week. Good evening, you're watching this week news bulletin with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. Farmers in the Gambia are generally affected by a severe lack of finance and are mostly found using obsolete tools and old-fashioned ways of farming. Despite these massive challenges faced by farmers, including gardeners, the Gambia's horticultural sector is one of the most vital food production sectors of the country. Now, the government is set to boost this sector with a project worth $80 million. According to the Gambian leader Adama Barrow, the horticultural system in the Upper River region will be the first to benefit from the project. Details of that in this report.
President Barrow is currently on his annual leave, and on Friday he paid a surprise visit to a 9-hectare garden in URR. This community garden consists of 38 men and 497 women from at least 5 villages, including Mankamankunda and Sare Musa. The old-fashioned style of farming is still predominant in the Gambia, and most of the people who work in this sector, mostly women, lack the tools and money to ensure enough is produced. As a result, the country faces problems of food security as farmers generally struggle to meet the food supply demands. The Gambia government secured up to $8 million to work on the agricultural sectors in the country, including gardens. According to President Barrow, hopefully his native village of Mankamankunda will be the first to benefit from the project. Many farmers in the Gambia normally suffer in their field after production, with no standard storage facility to preserve agricultural products. As a result, massive losses are usually encountered. This discourages many, but President Barrow revealed that the $80 million project will solve the situation.
As part of the 80 million project, we will start with the construction of cold storages in different parts of the country. This is geared towards helping farmers preserve their products to avoid loss. Markets will also be created for easy trading. That way, our agricultural system will be sustainable.
This mixed farming center produces different crops with huge capacity, such as onions, eggplant, among others. More than 200,000 youths in the Gambia are unemployed, according to the 2018 Labor Force Survey, most of whom do not have access to any means of support from the government. However, President Barrow said his government is driving towards the improvement of all sectors, including agriculture. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
Adam Barrow's government to boost the agricultural sector with an $80 million project. Now in Cambodia, land degradation, illegal logging and over-harvesting are threatening forest resources. Forest cover has decreased from 60% in 2006 to 44% in 2018. In Cambodia, 65% of the rural population depends on agriculture, natural resources, and forests as a primary source of food and income. Omar Ture files and more in this report.
Since 2016, FAO, in partnership with Forestry Administration, has been implementing innovative forest and landscape restoration actions with an integrated landscape approach. The activities are carried out in 5 pilot sites in 3 provinces, Kampong Thom, Siem Reap, and Previher. The program has improved livelihoods of communities and enhanced the sustainability and profitability of lands under cultivation. Kohorn Saret is Deputy Director General at Forestry Administration in Cambodia.
The program aims to scale up the forest and landscape restoration actions and contribute to the improvement of the sustainable ecosystem goods, service, as well as sustainable livelihood for dependent communities.
Forests cover approximately 59% of Cambodia's total land area, corresponding to approximately 10.7 million hectares. The net annual rate of deforestation was estimated as 0.5% from 2002 to 2006, representing a significant decrease compared to earlier estimates. Alexander Huyen, FAO Cambodia representative, highlights how the project has been supportive to communities.
The FRM support has demonstrated that the community forestry members can take care of their own restoration and sustainability actions as long as they are provided with the appropriate tools and resources.
Forest management in Cambodia has been a challenging task for the government from the 1950s to the present. However, the leadership has ratified laws, regulations, and declarations related to sustainable forest management and conservation, which have now entered into force. Each year, the world loses more than 10 million hectares of forest, and degradation affects almost 2 billion hectares of land. The United Nations General Assembly has proclaimed 21st March the International Day of Forest, IDF, to celebrate and raise awareness of the importance of forest. FAO and the United Nations Forum on Forest are the lead agencies organizing the day. For iAfrica TV, I am Omar Ahmad Toure.
Cambodia celebrate International Day of Forest. Now, the Inter-Party Committee, with support from the UNDP and ECOWAS on Saturday, held a meeting with all political parties to dialogue on the preparation for the 2021 presidential elections. The convergence at the International Conference Center aimed to commit politicians to a memorandum of understanding and a code of conduct built on a peaceful electoral process. Binta Fati reports.
Lessons from the 2016 presidential election prompted the revival of the Inter-Party Committee, which consists of members of all registered political parties in the country. The committee provides forum for compliance, dialogue and cooperation among parties to promote a conducive political environment guided by the rule of law, democracy and peace. The co-chairman of the Inter-Party Committee, Halifa Saleh, who doubles as the Secretary General of PDOIS, prescribed the need for understanding between the president and opposition parties to ensure stability in society.
We are fully conscious that a stable and peaceful political environment is indispensable to development. We are also conscious that the presidency is an embodiment of dignity and respect. And the role of the opposition is also an embodiment of dignity and respect. And together, they must bring about the national development that the country needs.
The United Nations Development Programme Committee representative Aisata Day underscored the importance in building consensus and acceptance of election results as a driving force for peaceful elections. Madam Day also expressed the need for the full participation of women in the political discourse of the country to ensure gender equality and development.
One of the challenges facing political parties in the Gambia is leaving women behind in political participation, and demonstrated by the April 2017 parliamentary election, where only 3 women were elected as members of the National Assembly.
As all parties call on the IEC to be impartial in the conduct of the elections, the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, Aliu Momod Njai, welcomed the meeting as timely. He reassured the commitment of the IEC to conduct a free, fair and transparent election come December 2021.
We, being entrusted the responsibility of conducting free, fair and transparent elections, will be doing so come what may.
13 out of the 17 political parties attended the meeting, who all endorsed the proposal by the Inter-Party Committee to the promotion of peace, rule of law and due process in the coming election. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, I am Binta Fati.
Politicians, they are committed to a memorandum of understanding on a peaceful electoral process. We will now go with a quick break and be right back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and still with the news in this week. The Village Development Committee of Kombo Sanyang has begun reconciliation efforts with the Senegalese community seeking refuge at Batakunku following violent protests over the death of a native. Sanyang grabs national attention on Monday when an angry mob burned down Sanyang police station, a fish meal factory and fishing stalls along the beach. Amature files in this report.
Dozens of Senegal nationals who feared being blamed for the crime of their fellow citizen, who is alleged to have caused the death of Jibril Sise of Sanyang, fled to neighboring Batokunku village. The people of Sanyang, however, said there is no need for any foreign national to live in fear or abandon their residence in the southern Kombo village of West Coast region. President of the Sanyang Beach Committee, Famara Jammeh, spoke highly of the cordial relationship between the non-Gambians living in the area and Sanyang, despite what has happened during the protest.
This bad event that occurred was not done by people who are living from the river. But when a problem occurs, it doesn't have barriers. We want to ask for forgiveness for the damages caused. At the time the damages occurred, everyone was sad and angry.
The Sanyang VDC decided to work with affected persons to assess the level of damage and then work out means to compensate them for the losses.
We tasked Baidi to inquire from his people those that lost their properties in the incident, to have their names registered, because the damages caused doesn't end with the Senegalese. Some Gambians equally lost machines and other properties.
Representative of the Council of Elders of Sanyang, Malija Jabang, has this to say.
Gambia and Senegal are close relations. In fact, Sanyang particularly have many of its daughters married at Yen in Senegal, and their daughters too have been married here. I personally, my brother has married a wife from Yen. So that tells you that we are like people from the same parents.
Africa TV observed that the damage in properties did not only affect the police station and the Chinese fishing factory in the area. Fishing stalls belonging to women of Sanyang as well as local boats by the poor fishermen were equally burned by the protesters. The incident triggered tension between Sanyang youth and the security forces. Police dispersed protesters with tear gases while the army briefly sent troops to support the police in controlling the situation. Gambia Red Cross Society had been on the ground supporting the displaced person with basic needs including sanitary materials. The Sanyang VDC maintains that there is no need for fear among the foreign nationals, let alone abandon their residence, as their leadership are amicably handling the crisis. For iAfrica TV, I am Omar Ahmad Toure.
Kombo Sanyang Village Development Committee began reconciliation efforts with the Senegalese committee over the recent chaos that led to one death. Now to Tanzania, where Samia Suluhu Hassan became the first female president of Tanzania on 19th March 2021 to succeed former President John Magufuli, who died 2 days earlier. Hassan was sworn in to complete the 5-year term, which began in 2020. Amanda tells us more.
Samia Suluhu Hassan is a Tanzanian politician who became the first female president of Tanzania. Samia was born in January 1960 in Zanzibar, the semi-autonomous islands of the coast of mainland Tanzania. She studied public administration in Tanzania and then as a postgraduate at the UK's Manchester University. The 61-year was elected to a public office in 2000 and later came to national prominence in 2014 as the vice chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, created to draft a new constitution. She was first elected as vice president in 2015 and was re-elected last year along with John Magufuli. When she was Minister of Labour, Gender Development and Children in Zanzibar, part of her achievements in 2005, Samia overturned a ban on young mothers returning to school after giving birth. Having served as a state minister and vice president in the previous government, very little is known about Ms. Samia's private life. In 1978, she married Hafid Amir, who is known to be an agricultural academic but has also kept a low profile. But since she became vice president, the two have not been pictured together. They have 4 children with one Hafid Amir, who is currently a member of the Zanzibar House of Representatives. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
That Tanzanian report by Amanda will bring us to the end of this week. I am your presenter, Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and have a good night.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriMoney just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning, your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
My fellow Gambian brothers and sisters, this is a message of precaution, solidarity, and hope. We living in very unusual times. The coronavirus is a menace that's threatening all of us, but together, united, we can do something about this. First, we need to take necessary precautions and take expert advice and act accordingly. Stay away from crowded places, wash our hands, and use hand sanitizers where necessary. Let us remain calm and hopeful. There is a God, that God is alive. Allah will take care of us, but we have to take the necessary precautions. There is a number that can be called to report and to ask questions. Let's use it. Together, we can fight this menace, and we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be there for us. Let's remain calm and hopeful. Inna Allaha ma'as sabirin. Let's be patient, calm, take precaution, and do the right things. This is a message from your brother, Muhammadu Sabali. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Every year in the late summer, violent tropical storms descend on Liberia in West Africa. The small country, seemingly forsaken by God, has little choice but to accept its fate.